Hello and welcome to Two Across, the podcast where two friends sitting on opposite sides of the Atlantic get together and catch up over a crossword. I'm Rob Cole, sitting in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
And I'm Theo Bosanquet, sitting in London. Hello.
Hello. How are things in London?
Things in London are good, generally. We've actually been away from London for a few days. We had a bank holiday weekend, which, as is traditional in the UK, brought lots of rain with it. We actually spent it in Bristol with some good friends of ours, and we did lots of general catching up. We had a kind of logistically convoluted weekend because my daughter went up to the Lake District to see a friend of hers. And for those familiar with UK geography, they will know that London to the Lake District is quite a distance.
And not easily gettable by train, as I recall.
No. So my daughter had something of a trains, planes and automobiles kind of journey because my wife took her up to Warrington, which is where my in-laws live, for the night on Friday. And then aforementioned in-laws very kindly drove my daughter up to the Lake District on Saturday, where she was reunited with her great friend to celebrate her birthday with her. She then stayed for the weekend, and then on Monday, which was the bank holiday, she was transported back, or most of the way back south, by the friend's grandparents who live in Leicestershire. So they drove her there, and then my wife went up on the train to meet her. And in the meantime, my wife, myself and my son had gone to Bristol. So the whole, I mean, it was, a lot of moving parts, but we all got there. We all got back. We all remained largely sane throughout this process. So by most measurable statistics, it was a successful weekend, albeit a complicated one. Anyway, how are you? How is things your side of the large expanse of water?
Yeah, good. Yesterday was my birthday, so we had a nice sunny day. The weekend had been rainy like yours, very rainy. We got a deluge on Sunday, and then the clouds parted somewhere around noon yesterday, and my wife and I roamed the city of Montreal and its terraces because we had about 22-degree weather. It was really quite glorious. And today is another of those glorious days, so it's that feeling that anything is possible, that life is wonderful, and that all of your concerns that may have manifested over the last few months seem odd and you don't quite understand where they came from. So it's one of those moments.
Well, many happy returns and all that. I'm sorry I actually missed the day itself. I obviously would have sent you the obligatory birthday cake emoji if I'd known.
Yes.
But never mind. It wasn't a significant one, I believe.
It was the big 47. Yeah.
So you're officially late 40s now? Can we or still mid? Can we still say mid?
No, I think we're into the late. I mean, we're in the shoot, right? It's
right.
the sort of if there's anything on your list of things that you needed to get done before 50, write your novel or have your affair, for instance.
Sure. Yeah.
that the next 3 years, that's obviously
the time to do it.
I said one. I'm not speaking specifically of myself, obviously.
Of course.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm never going to write a novel, but
Very good. Very good.
yeah. But this is the time, right? I mean, now it's like panic. It's panic time. It's panic time.
Absolutely.
So I started panicking yesterday.
Yeah, I can see that being quite daunting, having the big 50 looming on the horizon like a sort of existential multi-headed hydra.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that once you're on the other side of it and you look back, it's like, well, that wasn't such a big deal. And it helps to have friends that have been through that and can counsel you on what's to come. And I have a few of those, so that's helpful. And it makes it, maybe it relativizes it, makes you realize that actually things just continue much as they always have, and your slow physical and cognitive decline moves apace as it has been for 50 or 47 years in my case. So
Sure.
Really, I mean, there's nothing to be feared.
We love to keep it light on Two Across. We're not one of those podcasts, are we, that we're certainly not a wellness podcast, a sort of mindfulness kind of thing where we're all like, hey, live in the moment and just live each day as if it's, all of that. We're all about physical and cognitive decline, as you put it.
Yeah.
And, we're embracing the dying of the light, to misquote Yeats, was it? Or Blake?
I think so. Rage Against.
Oh, no, it was neither of those. It was Dylan Thomas. That was it. Rage Against the dying of the light.
Old age should something and something at break of day.
Yes. So rage, my boy. That was a terrible Dylan Thomas impression, and that line isn't even in the poem. So on both fronts, apologies to the Welsh.
Yes, the Welsh. Dylan Thomas's estate.
Yeah. All of the above. So, Rob, should we get to a crossword?
I think we should.
It's number 16,849 this week of the Guardian Quick Crosswords. After our stunning triumph last week, we are 10-8 in the lead. So we can,
Crazy.
the pressure's off a little bit this week.
Yep.
But then again, I think we are due a tough one. So let's dive in. Do you want to start us off?
Sure. Let's start with an anagram. 2 down is funfair, and is an anagram for thug.
Ooh.
So, as is my wont, I may have a guess on this one.
Go on.
So I believe it's a ruffian.
Rob, what is it with you in anagrams? What's your secret?
I just like anagrams.
Yeah.
There's just something about them.
That really is exceptional work. It would have taken me at least half of our allotted 30 minutes in order to get that. Speaking of which, I have started the timer, by the way. So
Excellent.
rest easy, listener. Okay, one across. Author's complaint, ? 7-5.
Yeah. Second letter is an R.
My guess would be
Would be.
writer's block.
Yeah, nice.
Now, I have few claims to being in any way a child prodigy, but something I did do when I was quite young was I made my grandmother for her birthday. My grandmother was an author, and I made her a writer's block, which was a sort of badly fashioned block of clay with the names of some authors on the side of it, including hers. So I was quite proud of that. Although I dropped it, I remember dropping it shortly before I was due to give it to her, and it sort of smashed on the ground. So I had to kind of reform it rather crudely. But still, my mum still has it to this day, my writer's block. So yeah, quite proud of that.
There's a metaphorical moment in your life, in fact, that's going to have to be written into the novel of your life, where after a bout of brutal writer's block, in the middle of the night, you journey up to Northumberland and smash the writer's block.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
It was then, as he heard the wind rustling through the hemlocks, that he realized that the block must be destroyed.
It's my portrait of Dorian Gray, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Sit there, haunting me.
Rapidly aging when you smash it. All of a sudden, the super writer inside of you will be released.
Yes, will spring forth, and my bestseller will be immediately produced.
Immediately forthwith.
Yeah. Now you're saying that, Rob, I'm beginning to question whether this is the source of all my creative frustration.
Sometimes it's deceptively simple, Theo. We look for the complex answers, for instance, like, am I just a hack? Do I have no talent? I mean, easy explanations, but really it's just a piece of clay you fashioned unknowingly as a child that must be destroyed.
Yeah. The answer to it all.
Yeah.
Talking of complicated questions, this one is not a complicated question, I believe. 3 down. Right. And the clue is Blank Driver, 1976 Martin Scorsese film, beginning with T.
Beginning with T, so 4 letters.
All together now. Taxi.
Are
you talking to me? There you go. That was a clip from Taxi Driver, I just played there.
That was really quick tapping, by the way, on your phone to call that up. But I'm going to give you full marks for that.
Well, thanks. Where should we go next?
So, well, writer's block's giving us a lot of down letters. We've got 4 to choose from. Is one of those. We've got a very long one on 7 down if we want to go for the full swing.
It's a double worder.
Yeah, double worder, group influence, and that's 4 letters, 8 letters.
Now, beginning with K, assuming writer's block is correct. So...
And now I'm thinking, because there's an obvious what that could be if it wasn't a K, but...
Yeah. I'm saying I don't have a clue.
Theo. It's not block. I think it's writer's cramp. Because then that gives us a P, and the C would work as well for 5 down, which I scanned really quickly. Because I think the group influence is starting with P, 4 letters, and then 8 letters.
Peer pressure.
Yeah.
That's really good thinking. So, and this also means I told my writer's block anecdote completely erroneously, but never mind. It was a nice excuse.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to edit that one out.
That's gone straight on the cutting room floor.
And all the hilarity that ensued is also going to have to be gone because it's misplaced.
And all my future references to the Dorian Gray block will have to also be excised. So,
We're going to recycle it later.
We can use it again. We do that all the time. Right. Substance with particular effect. 5 letters beginning with A. This is 6 down. So if it's cramp, that is, it begins with A. Substance with particular effect. Any guesses on that one?
Not right away. Substance with particular effect.
Let's move on.
Nope. Yep.
We've got some more plenty of other downs to get our teeth into.
Companion to ensure good behavior. 5 down. 5 down. 8 letters, starting with C.
Now, is this the word that they use in Jane Austen novels to describe somebody who, a sort of maiden aunt, who escorts a young, eligible lady?
I was thinking that too, but it doesn't seem to fit unless there's another word, because I was thinking chaperone, but it doesn't fit.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't fit. No.
Chaperon fits, but not chaperone.
It's definitely got an E on it, though, hasn't it? So...
You've got to think so, yeah.
Not a chaperone. Oh, horror. What are we going to put there?
Unless chaperone is chaperone without an E after the P, but I don't think that's right. What about 10 across, Theo? A circus performer's equipment. It's 7 letters and ends in E.
Circus performer. So...
Like the daring young man on the flying...
Trapeze.
I think that's got to be that.
Got to be. Yeah. Good guess. So that, I mean, if it's not chaperone, I'm really struggling with that.
Well, let's keep working.
We can get some more letters. Yeah, let's work around it.
So 4 down.
Oh, shop work.
Yep.
6 letters, R blank T. Got to be retail.
Yep, I think you're right. So that gives us an I as the second letter of an 8-letter word that is dodge, in brackets, a tricky question. So that would be space I, and then the last letter is a P.
Well, we've just had some elections over here, so we've seen lots of politicians dodging tricky questions, particularly conservative politicians.
Yes.
So I feel like I should have come across this. I mean, my immediate thought is something along the lines of evasion, but that won't fit. Have you got any thoughts?
No, I haven't.
Okay, let's try something else. Yeah.
All right, what you got?
So, how about 9 across, which we have. It's a 5-letter word and we have 2 letters. The clue is stick, and the 2 letters we have are the third is F and the final letter is X.
Affix.
Oh yeah, like stick something rather than, a stick that you
Yeah.
beat somebody with.
So then we've got 11 across, sudden attack. 4 letters, third letter is an I.
A sudden attack.
Could be a raid.
Oh yeah, good guess. We've got quite a juicy one, 8 down. It's a double worder. It is an anagram. A double worder anagram. This is huge.
Yep.
And the anagram is modern Darwin. 2 words. And the clue is unwilling to consider new ideas. And there's a dash between the words as well. So
Yeah.
So you're going to work on the anagram. I'm going to work on the clue.
Well, I've got it.
You've already got it. Of course you have. Go on.
It's narrow-minded.
Yeah. Okay. I like to think I would have got there fairly speedily.
I didn't know where we were vis-a-vis the time.
So we've got exactly 18 minutes left. So we're roughly on track, but only roughly.
Roughly. With some challenging things hanging up there in the top right that we've got to deal with. And no knowledge of what the bottom holds for us. So we've got...
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say here's a clue that doesn't apply to you anymore since you're changing the season, but the clue is simply cold, and it's 6 letters. This is 14 across, and I think we can assume narrow-minded is correct. It begins with W and has a third letter of N. The clue is cold. So a word that fits but definitely doesn't work with the clue is wanton.
Yes, wanton does fit. But there is one that fits that works with a clue that has that T in the same space.
Oh, yeah. Winter or wintry?
I would probably say wintry because it's cold.
Yeah. Okay. Wintry. Let's go wintry.
A wintry day.
Easy one, 13 down. Glenn Miller's instrument, 12 letters. Second letter R. A trombone.
Did he play the trombone? I'm going to have to bow to
I hope he did because trumpet doesn't fit.
So he definitely played a trombone.
Yeah.
He was so good too. I remember his tromboning was just something.
Excellent. Trombing.
Yeah. His thrombosis was just something.
A trombone player is what? A trombonist?
No, it's a tromboner. In fact, there's an excellent moment in The Simpsons where the always irritable, semi-balding, long-haired band teacher says, "Do you find something funny with the word tromboner?" I think he's talking to Millhouse or someone. Anyway.
Nice. Okay, 18 across. Notorious. 8 letters beginning with I, 5th letter M.
Yes. Notorious.
Infamous.
Infamous. A day that will live in infamy. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tick off another quick one, which is high-rise homes, 19 down. 5 letters beginning with F, presumably flats.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Flats.
Right, where do you want to go next, Rob?
22 across, also an easy one. Very hard substance or card suit. It's 7 letters long. It starts with D. The third letter is an A, and the 5th letter is an O.
Diamond. Diamonds are forever. I just played a clip of Shirley Bassey singing Diamonds Are Forever.
You are really on it today with your searching on the internet.
Yes, my Googling is very, very quick. Okay, we should be able to get this between us. Partly because it's an anagram, and partly because the clue relates to my profession. And the clue is critique. This is 24 across.
And it's an anagram of diarist's tone. Any thoughts?
Well, I think, it's D blank S blank E. So...
Correct.
I think it has to begin D-I-S. And then...
That makes sense.
So No. It's not coming, Rob.
I think it's dissertation.
Oh, yes, because the clue is critique, which implies it can be a noun. So a critique rather than to critique. That's very good, Rob. Again, well done.
Yeah. Like the Critique of Pure Reason by Immanuel Kant.
Oh, beautiful reference there.
So he could have called it his dissertation of pure reason, but decided not to. For he preferred brevity.
The soul of wit. That's all I've got. Kant was the...
He was the real pissant who was very rarely stable.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes.
According to Monty Python.
Monty Python, yeah.
He was the one with the categorical imperative, which is wildly similar to Jesus's categorical imperative to do unto others. It is act as though your action would be a maxim for the action of others. Something like that, I believe, was his categorical imperative. That the thing that you do could be made up as a rule for action for others and would hold as a moral law.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of other stuff too, I think.
He did. I studied his argument for the existence of God, and I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, I know what it was. It was, could God make a stone that was too big for himself to lift?
Yes.
And he just shrugged his shoulders and said, faith.
Good old Kant. So we had Plato popping up in the last episode, Kant in this one. But we're really ticking off our philosophers on Two Across.
It's a real philosopher's corner this last month. So we'll see. Who will make an appearance next week? Will our friend Nietzsche arrive and twist his mustache in the corner of Two Across? Tune in next week to find out.
I have an ancestor who is a Victorian philosopher of note called Bernard Bosanquet. And I do own a few of his leatherback tomes, but I can't pretend that I've read them, so I can't really tell you what he contributed, but I know he contributed a lot because said tomes are pretty weighty.
Yeah.
But then most Victorian tomes are weighty. I don't think it was possible to write a tome in those days without running to at least 95 chapters and 500,000 words.
Yes. in several bound volumes.
Yes. I could just offer you a pocket-sized guide to...
Positive rationalism.
Yes, quite. Chauvinism in...
in all of its forms. Male chauvinism.
8 highly digestible volumes.
I would start with volume 3, Jingoism. It's a rather rousing introduction to my basic tenets of my theory.
Xenophobia, the gentleman's...
the gentleman's pursuit.
Yes. Oh dear. Right, we've got to keep it down the time, Rob. We've got 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, shoot, okay. The jollity must stop.
The jollity must end.
17 down. Yeah. An expert commentator like you, Theo.
Indeed.
Space U, space D, space T.
A pundit.
Yes. Do you ever describe yourself as a pundit?
Never, darling. I'm a critic. Far different. I think football pundits should begin though to refer to themselves as football critics. You know,
yes.
Give the job a little bit of weight. I mean, I wish I was a pundit. I'd certainly earn a lot more, but never mind. Right. Okay. 23 across. I think we can get this one. It's broadcasting 2, 3, and we have a final R. So, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, sticking on air.
Yes, must be on air. 21 down. Eat quickly and run. 4.
Yeah.
Interesting. So it's -O -T. Eat quickly and run. Like, see, I would say scoff, but that doesn't fit with the length of word and doesn't fit with the letters, so it's definitely not that.
No. Eat quickly and run.
Oh dear.
It's like dash, dine and dash, or well, let's come back to it because we don't have a lot of time and we got other fish to fry.
It's motor on.
We can struggle over that at the end.
We can. This companion to ensure good behaviour. We haven't got any. Let's try and get another letter on that. So 15 across. Dark, gloomy, 6 letters ending in E.
Yeah, dark, gloomy.
Nothing's coming. 16 down. Boastful self-confidence.
Oh, I got it. Somber.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
Sombre.
Which gives boastful self-confidence a first letter of B. And that's 7 letters ending in O.
With an A is the third last letter. So it's B and then a bunch of spaces, A space O. Which I think is bravado.
Oh, bravado. Yeah. Well done. Very well done.
Okay. So we got that one. 20 across, make the grade, space A space S.
20 across, make the grade. Oh, pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pass muster. Nice.
So, okay, we're rattling through here, and we need a bit of rattle because we've only got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
I'm worried about this eat quickly and run because I think this could be our marquetry of this episode to flash back to the previous episode. I think we're going to just have to guess some letters and see if we can come up with something. So let's save that. Our companion to ensure good behaviour now has a 7th letter of O. There's 8 letters beginning in C, blank A, and the 7th letter is O. A. So it's definitely not. Oh no, it does leave chaperone.
It does if it was just chaperon without an E at the end.
Could that be a male chaperone? Is chaperone feminine and chaperon is masculine? I mean, is that worth a guess? Yeah? Yeah,
it could be.
Okay. I'm looking to you as our resident francophile.
Yes. The on-staff francophile. I'm looking at substance with a particular effect. A space E space.
No, I think we need to get 12 across, which would give us the final letter. This is our dodge a tricky question, which now is blank I, blank E, 3 blanks P. So Zeus just did a massive snore there. Have you heard that?
I heard that. That was quite sonorous.
It was. Had good vibrato to it.
It did indeed. Dodge a tricky question. Ending in P. I mean, what could precede our P? I suppose an M.
Yeah. Or an R.
Yeah.
So just to summarize, we have 3 minutes left and we have 3 clues still to get.
4.
Hang on, what's the 4th one?
21 down, the eat quickly and run.
Yeah, so we've got that one, we've got dodge a tricky question, and we've got substance with a particular effect.
Okay, if we take chaperon as chaperon.
Yeah, sorry, I'm assuming that chaperon, we have to go with it, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. So then dodge a tricky question becomes space I, space E, and then 3 spaces and then a P.
It might be another Evelyn Waugh type, P.G. Woodhouse type word. Like a fizzy, a come on. I'm groping around here for a word that I can't immediately think of. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Oh, Theo, could eat quickly and run just be bolt?
Yeah, I guess. We haven't got anything better, so.
Yeah.
I always just thought that meant the run bit rather than the eat bit, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You could bolt some food down, could you?
Maybe. I can't think of anything else that goes there.
Okay, substance with particular effect. 5 letters. A blank E blank blank. So what could go between the A and the E? An R,
Yeah.
T, an M. 30 seconds left, Rob. We may have to...
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? I did say that our fall was coming.
Was prophesized.
Substance with particular... No. 3,
No, I'm not
2,
getting anything.
1. We're out. Out of time, people. Oh, how annoying.
Alas. Well, we may
Yeah.
have only left 2 on the board, so we got our... Potentially, if Bolt is correct and if Chaperon is correct, which I can't think of anything else that's going to fit there.
No.
It's just substance with a particular effect is like massively vague and ambiguous
Yeah.
and redundant.
Should we do check all first to see if we've got anything wrong?
Yep.
So I've just done that and it doesn't look like we've got anything wrong. So Chaperon is correct.
And Bolt is correct.
And Bolt is correct. So that means we just have to find out what these 2 clues are. Do you want to go substance with a particular effect first? That is it's an agent.
Okay, yeah. I don't love that.
No, I don't love that as a clue. Because a substance just... I mean, I get that. I suppose it can be like a chemical agent or something, but it's a bit annoying. Which gives us a T in our dodge a tricky question.
Yeah.
Which I'm still not seeing. Are you seeing anything?
No. I mean, so it's got to be a vowel between the T and the P at the end.
So like an O maybe? Top?
Maybe.
Pirin top. Oh, look, let's just see what it is, shall we? Put ourselves
Yeah.
out of our misery. It is...
Oh, sidestep.
Yeah, that's annoying. Sidestep.
That we should have had, I guess.
We should definitely have got that. No.
If they'd presented that as 4-4, which I guess maybe it is considered a word, an 8-letter word, but if they presented that as 4-4, I think we would have gotten it.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you think of it as being 2 words, don't you? Even though
you do.
it's not. But we should have got that. I think that wasn't especially hard, and it was a pretty accurate clue.
Yeah.
So no shade on the Guardian setter for that one, but a little bit of shade for Agent, because I think that is fairly opaque as a clue. But you know, as I said at the top of the show, we could afford to relax a bit today. Maybe we relaxed too much. Maybe there was just too much Victorian philosopher banter in the middle.
I think so. If we're to find our fatal flaw so that we can improve the game plan for episode 20, that might be something we need to think about. It's not getting too deep into the Victorian philosophical banter before we have a good sense that we're going to finish the crossword.
Yeah. Episode 20, that's impressive, isn't it, that we've made it this far?
It is. Yeah, let's move away from the somber mood. Have a bit of bravado about what we've achieved so far.
Get our trombones out.
Get our trombones out. Toot our own horns for a moment.
On air, if you will.
On air.
Episode 20 coming up.
Yes. Whereupon Theo will deliver a dissertation on a critique of pure reason.
And I will not sidestep any difficult questions that come in the way of it.
No. And I will give you some difficult questions because, I have some.
I'm sure
lest
you do.
Lest I get writer's cramp in the preparation of said questions.
Indeed. So what have you got coming up, Rob? What's in your future this week?
My future, and I apologize to listeners for my sniffling and snuffling. I'm a week into a rather unpleasant cold that actually had me laid up in bed for 2 days.
Oh man!
But I have to take this cold on the road tomorrow, which it's a bit daunting. Taking a sinus cold to high altitudes in an airplane. But I have to fly to Istanbul tomorrow evening. And then I have some work in Istanbul. Pardon me. I have some work in Istanbul tomorrow, and then I have a bit of work in Yerevan in Armenia, from whence I think we might record our next episode. So I will again be your roving correspondent, delivering a dispatch from far-flung places next week.
That is very exciting, Rob. Armenia.
I've never been to Armenia.
No, me neither.
So,
well, we have the Eurovision Song Contest coming up at the weekend, and
do we?
I'm wondering if Armenia may have an entry in that. Are they in Europe? They are in Europe.
Well, that's always a question. Is the Caucasus, are they considered to be in Europe? So Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia, because I think, yeah.
I mean, either way, I wouldn't use Eurovision as the marker of that, because Australia is in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, okay, that
famously. So let's not. But I've just Googled and it says Armenia is in Asia, so very much not Europe. But I'm pretty sure Georgia,
which is just north of Armenia.
Yeah, directly north. So, hang on, I'm just Googling Armenia in the Eurovision Song Contest, and they are in the Eurovision Song Contest. So, this is why it's not the best indicator of continental affiliation.
No, but here's something to make it even more complicated. Wikipedia says that Georgia, which is just to the north of Armenia and has no greater or lesser claims as being an Asian or European country than would Armenia, according to Wikipedia, is a transcontinental country in Eastern Europe and West Asia. So, wow. The status of those countries. I mean, and that's it. What makes a country European? Is it religious affiliation? Georgia is a Christian country. So does that make them culturally European and therefore part of Europe? Is it the landmass, the Asiatic landmass? I mean, Russia famously is a transcontinental country as well, because it spans Asia and Europe. And I think the line is the Ural Mountains or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Russia is bigger than Canada, isn't it? I mean, I know Canada is vast.
Significantly. And I, as a kid, I always my chest puffed up thinking, oh yeah, Canada is the second biggest country in the world, and it's not far off Russia, who were the first. And then even when the Soviet Union broke apart, I thought, oh, maybe Canada's going to be biggest now. If you look at the stats, Russia is just massive. I think you could almost fit two Canadas inside Russia.
Yeah.
Russia is the big boy.
A quick scan across Russia on Google Maps, and yeah, it's absolutely unfathomably vast.
It is huge.
Yeah. And I like that word, transcontinental. A foot in both continental camps. So Armenia can, when it suits it, call itself Asian, and when it wants to sing a song at the Eurovision Song Contest, it can call itself European. So good for you, Armenia, exactly. I say. What takes you to Armenia, Rob?
So I'm for a client of mine who are updating a series of policies that guide their organization. It's an international organization, and they're updating their policies on environmental and social matters and on access to information. And so, which is sort of information disclosure and transparency type policies. And when they do that kind of thing, they consult with civil society to make sure that they've got it right. And so I am helping to facilitate those dialogues. And so there's going to be a series of dialogues with civil society, one in Istanbul and one in Armenia. So this is really about as close as I get to a jolly, because I get to go to big cities, cosmopolitan, interesting places, and wear nice clothing to do my work, as opposed to wear jeans and go to far-flung remote places. So it's, It should be an interesting couple of weeks. I have to admit, or a week or so of work, but I have to admit a bit of trepidation and undertaking the travel. As I suppose our listeners who have tuned into many episodes would know, I've been bouncing around a lot of late, more than I would generally like to. And I'm a little bit wary of undertaking more travel at this point, but it should be fun.
And at least this time you're traveling alone, so you don't have to worry about the needs of smalls.
Right.
I'm not traveling in physical terms with work, but this evening I'm traveling in cultural terms because I'm going to be going to the West End premiere of the stage adaptation of Spirited Away, the Japanese film made by Studio Ghibli, and the production has come over from Japan to the West End, which is very exciting, and it's playing in the West End's biggest theatre, which is the Colosseum, usually home to the English National Opera. So it's a huge scale production. I actually interviewed the producers, so you can read that interview online on the stage website if you are so minded. But it's an epic, and I don't know if you've seen Spirited Away.
I've not. I've heard a lot about it, but I've not seen it.
It's completely bonkers. I mean, like most Studio Ghibli stuff, it is it's very sort of dreamlike and supernatural and all of that stuff. But yeah, Spirited Away is really, it's insane in a very very engrossing and clever way. But all these strange creatures keep popping up all over the place, which I'm intrigued to see how they managed to do that. Last year I saw My Neighbor Totoro at the Barbican, which again is a stage adaptation of a Studio Ghibli film. Totoro revolves around this enormous kind of creature who lives in the trees, and they managed to manifest this on stage in the most incredible way. So yeah, I'm intrigued to continue my Ghibli journey with that, and then the week after, at the opposite end of the spectrum, culturally speaking, I'm going to Fawlty Towers on stage, which
nice.
John Cleese has written in his latest bid to stave off the alimony payments, and yeah, it's certainly intriguing in a very different way, I would say.
Yeah.
But I won't say too more because I won't say any more, I should say, because I'm going to be reviewing it. So I don't want to go in with too many particular expectations. But I am a big fan of the original sitcom, so it will be interesting to see how that makes the move. So anyway, yeah, lots of screen to stage stuff.
Nice.
On my horizon, singular.
It's got to be a nice time of year to be going up into central London to watch and review plays, because I mean the spring, early summer, the nights are long, everyone's in a good mood. It's not sort of like going to see something in late November.
Completely. It is a almost perfect time of year for theatre going, because it's getting lighter in the evening, so you can travel there in the sort of evening sun, but it's not yet too hot, so you're not sort of sitting there sweating in the stalls. And yeah, no, it's lovely. And actually I think May probably is my favorite month of all. It seems to get the balance right between it has that sort of hope about it, the hope of kind of growth and summer and good stuff on the horizon, but doesn't quite have the sort of hay fever and dryness and humidity of the July, August months. It's just, it's a good one. Well done, May. Well done.
Well done, May. And in May, we're in ascendancy. We're heading towards great things, as opposed to sort of slinking out of summer, as the days draw in, and then, school holidays come to a close. Not to presage that moment, but yeah, May is just a period of hopefulness.
And also your birth month, Rob, as we ascertained at the start of the show.
Yeah. It's funny actually. This weekend there was just an absolute embarrassment of birthdays. It turns out my sister-in-law has the same birthday I do, and so they came down this weekend and we celebrated our joint birthdays. And then my nephew has a birthday on the 3rd of May. And we were also celebrating the birthday of a friend which is on the 7th of May, which is, I guess, today. So happy birthday to Arnaud. So it's just been a period of birthdays. I think a lot of maybe adults get frisky at the end of the summer, seemingly.
I was going to say there must be something in the, if you wind the clock back 9 months, something in the air. Well, heat and humidity and hay fever, apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
All the more reason to stay indoors making sweet love. So yes, I'm not sure what the collective noun for a group of birthdays is. A celebration of birthdays would be the obvious one, but
A bevy.
a bevy of birthdays, nicely alliterative. Yes, Either way, chapeau to all subjects, but particularly to yourself, Rob. I think you wear your 47 years well.
Why, thank you.
Yes, congratulations on that again, and get well soon as well. I hope you're.
Yeah. And
large.
before we sign off, Theo, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have a little bit of contact on @2acrosspod at x.com.
Well said. Yes.
Which we might want to reference. Shout out to a listener who wrote us back in reference to our discussion of folklore from a few episodes back.
Indeed. So the lovely Roz, hello Roz, shout out and all of that, got in touch via Twitter @2acrosspod to say, on the folklore theme, she shared a lovely book called Old Dutch Nursery Rhymes, illustrated by H. Wilsbeek La Mère, I think. Wilsbeek. That's an excellently Flemish name. And this stems from 1917. And some of the illustrations are just amazing. There's a little girl standing in front of a house that's on fire, and she's just crying her eyes out. This is just adjacent to an illustration of her standing in front of the same house, holding her pets. She's got a cat and a dog, and there's sort of an implication that she is somehow responsible for said house fire. But yeah, she's bawling her eyes out. Then there's an illustration of a very strange scene of a dog lying on its back while its tail is nailed into the ground by what looks to be a young girl, and this scene is being watched by a sort of gathered family. So it could be some sort of burial ritual, but anyway, this is to accompany a song called Poor Doggy. So yeah, well, yes, it is a poor doggy because it's having its tail nailed to the ground. So there's that, and then the final one is another kind of duo of pictures of some children standing on a bridge looking at various ducks and ducklings, and then the bridge appears to have broken in two, or a large section of it has been removed, and a boy is kind of rowing them away on a boat. So these all of these pictures are laden with peril, I would say, or torture in some way. So
So the Dutch don't give up much to the Germans in terms of darkness in their folklore.
They don't. They certainly don't. They saw the German darkness and they raised them.
With a bit of low country tinge.
Low country animal torture. So yeah. So thanks, Roz, for sharing those. Do have a look on Twitter. And she also mentioned that she had been listening whilst in her kitchen baking banana bread, which I think is just about the perfect situation in which to listen to our podcast. That is exactly what the sort of mood that we're going for. I hope that came out well.
Listeners, if you're feeling a little low on any given day, maybe fix up a banana bread slowly but surely while listening to an episode of Two Across Pod and doing the crossword alongside us, and send us your experience of banana bread baking while listening to Two Across at Two Across Pod on Twitter, or twoacrosspod@gmail.com. So thanks, Roz, for reaching out. And we should probably reach out to the rest of our days and whatever labors await us, our remunerative labors of the day, and leave our listeners to contemplate our failure.
On which note, we'll see you next time in Armenia. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Two Across, a podcast by Theo Bosanquet and Rob Cole. We would love to hear back from you at twoacrosspod on X or twoacrosspod@gmail.com. Let us know anything that stirred in your thoughts today as a result of the crossword. Any feedback, we love that as well. And if you do give us a like or a subscribe or a share to friends, that'd be great too. Thanks for listening and see you next week.